matters to your line ministry.
Of course, but you see, this event, I tell you, the way it
Mr.
happened.
Conte, look at...
Can the witness please be
I did
allowed
not, I
to
did not,
answer the
I did
question?
not.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, here. Sorry. Can you take a look? Exhibit SC87. Actually, before you do that, you repeated just now that the generators were not new.
Yes, yes, yes.
How do you know they were not new?
At the time when because I asked them, it is very easy if Bazi knew that they are new sets, because he's already told me that they are purchased, assembled, ready for shipment. The documentation must be there indicating that they are new. That was very easy. It should have even come with the contract, but it was not there.
Do you doubt the records of NAWEC and NAWEC officials?
What do you mean?
You don't trust the records of NAWEC and NAWEC officials?
I trust them.
You trust them?
Yes.
What is the purpose of keeping minutes or records?
You should tell me what, just to know what has transpired in the meeting.
Sorry.
To document what has transpired in the meeting.
Okay. Do you know Tijan Bahum?
Yes, I know him.
Who was he?
He was one of the engineers at Kotu.
Sorry?
He was one of the engineers at Kotu.
You know Baba Fatajo?
Yes, I know.
Who was he at the time you were there?
Yes.
What position did he hold at the time you were there?
He was working at the power station. I cannot remember exactly whether he was at T&D or at the power station at the time I was there. I cannot remember that.
And you know Abdul Du?
Yes, I know him.
And what position was he holding?
He was the supply director at the time I was MD.
Okay. Look at Exhibit SC87. It's a contract between Global Trading Group and NAWEC for the supply of generators. Can you read the first clause after the parties?
Yeah.
Can you read that for me, please?
A brand new 6 megawatt generator set, 600 RPM diesel HFO of Deutz make with related auxiliaries, including but not limited to its...
I can't hear you. Can you raise your voice, please?
Huh? Including but not limited to its cooling, fuel, blue oil, switching, control systems to be installed at the Clans power plant presently situated at Kotu, Combo St. Mary's Division, The Gambia.
So that was a contract for the 3 brand new generating sets, which
Yes.
you say is old.
Yes.
Now, as part of SC87, can you take a look at this internal memo, which confirms the factory testing of the 3 generators in Germany? and which was minuted and signed by Tijan Bahum, Generation Manager, Baba Fatajo, Provincial Services Engineer, and Abdullah Indiu, IPP Manager.
Yes.
That document confirms they visited the factory in Germany and viewed the building of the generators. Is that correct?
Well, yes, that's what you said, yes.
Sorry?
Yes, okay, that's what they said.
Can you take a look at this provisional takeover certificate phase 1? It also forms part of SC 87. It's dated 18th October 2001. Can you read from this is to certify what it says? Can you read from me from this is to certify?
This is to? Where?
The first page, it says this is to certify that we, National Water and Electricity Company Limited.
Okay, yes. I should read it?
Please.
This is to certify that we, NOEC, have taken over on the 17th of September 2001 for commercial operations at 12:51 engine running hours after the successful performance test as per certificate dated 10th September 2001 on 168 hours endurance tests, 1 Deutz BV16 MV640 brand new heavy fuel diesel engine, serial number 2202397, and related auxiliary equipment supplied under phase 1 of NAWEC GTO agreement dated 19 January 2001, and NAWEC GTG IMM FIDIC base contract dated 4th May 2001. Supplied by Global Trading.
Can you take a look at this other provisional takeover certificate, phase 2, dated 5th February 2002, also forms part of SC 87.
Yeah, yes.
Can you read the same portion you just read?
This is certified that we, National NAWEC, have taken over on the 15th of February 2002 for commercial operations at 19:27 and 11:50 engine running hours for G7 and G8 respectively after the successful performance test of both engines done on the 27th October 2001 and 22nd January 2002 for G7 and G8 respectively. 2 Deutz BV16 M640 brand new heavy fuel engines, serial number 223541 and 223458 for G7 and G8 respectively, and auxiliary equipment except for those referred to on the attached list of outstanding issues supplied under phase 2 of NAWEC GTG GTG agreement dated 19 January 2001, NAWEC GTG IMM FIDIC based contract dated 4th May 2001.
Those two documents you've just referred to relate to the 3 generators.
Yes.
And those certificates indicate they were brand new together with their serial registration number. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Conte, let me give you one other document. It's normal practice, is it not, that when a project is completed or an engine is delivered, it has a warranty period?
It's normal practice, yes.
And the warranty period is usually 1 year?
Yes.
So these were delivered and a certificate issued in 2002. So in 2003, the warranty period would have expired. Those certificates you looked at, they all dated 2002.
Yes.
So the warranty period would have expired sometime in 2003.
Okay. Well, I don't know what in the contract what is stated there for the period for the warranty period. It can be 1 year, it can be more than 1 year. It depends on the negotiations during the contract. So I wouldn't know that.
Take a look at Exhibit SC87. It also forms part of the bundle. It has attached to it 2 certificates, startup certificate. It indicates the warranty period. What was the warranty period for phase 1?
One year.
And what was the warranty period for phase 2 for the other 2 new generators?
Also 1 year.
And it expired what year?
They did not state that here. They just put 1 year. The commercial operation date was given, so I guess you just add 1 year to that.
When was the commercial operation date?
17/09/2001.
2001, September 2001.
So it would be maybe 17/09/2002.
May I have the documents back? Mr. Do you know a company called Le Meyer?
What?
Le Meyer. Did you work with them when you were at NAWEC?
Lamaya International.
Sorry?
Lamaya International. Lamaya International.
Yes.
Yes.
Those were your consultants? Those were NAWEC's consultants?
That's what, for this generation, that's what I was told, yeah.
Did you work with them when you were at NAWEC?
Yes.
You had worked with them previously. Were you satisfied with their performance?
Yes.
They were the consultants for this project, for the generators.
Okay.
And they also visited Germany together with the NAWEC team. So do you have reason to doubt their report?
It depends on what you give them. You see, these generators, they can be reconstructed. You have the engine block. You reconstruct it again. You got leaving the engine block as it is and put all the other auxiliaries.
So
let me learn.
Mr. Conte,
these
already testified.
These generators, it is very easy. I think we should not waste our time on this. These generators
are not for you to tell me what I'm wasting my time on.
They are not new. As we speak today, 2 of these blocks are spoiled completely. Brand new sets for this short period of time. So the manufacturers are here. They are not gone. They are in the wall. They are there, and they are credible manufacturers. Let the commission write to them to shed light on this. Because you cannot bring these generators to this country and they don't perform. Their performance is very dismal. It's not good at all. And you try to convince me that they are new sets. Everybody who is an engineer in this country knows that the performance of these sets are bad. Even as new as they are, I visited them, I saw oil leaking all over them. Brand new sets will behave like that.
Mr. Conte, the evidence before the commission speaks for itself. Now, unless you're saying all of NAWEC employees who you've highlighted, the people you worked with, were in cahoots with the company in Germany and with taking delivery of the product, the documents speak for themselves.
Is
now,
council addressing?
Yes, Council, you have something to say.
Sorry.
I thought you were signaling to say something.
Now, I was saying council seems to be addressing the commission instead of asking questions.
Well, that surely is not acceptable.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Conte, while you were MD, generating sets have scheduled maintenance, do they not?
What?
Generating sets have scheduled maintenance, do they not? Manufacturer's maintenance?
Yes.
Schedule?
Yes.
Did you always follow the manufacturer's schedule of maintenance?
Did you?
Did NAWEC follow the manufacturer's schedule of maintenance?
Well, I think they should have followed.
I'm asking when you were there.
Nobody should ask them. When I was there, of course.
Okay.
So when I left, I don't know what they were doing there.
Is it not correct that not following the manufacturer's scheduled maintenance puts the machines at risk of breakdown?
You see, these sets are with other sets, and the same maintenance programs as have pursued. G6 is there, and other sets were there.
Mr. Conte, I'm asking you a question. Can you answer?
Why the performance of Generator 6 is better than these new sets? Generator 6 was commissioned in 1990.
Mr. Conte, you have testified. It's before the commission. I asked you a question. Kindly answer. If you cannot answer, we move on.
Yes.
My question to you is, if the scheduled maintenance is not adhered to, does that not put the generating sets at risk?
Of course, it can.
Now, G1 and G2, which you referred to as still being operational and in very good condition.
I did not say they are still in operation. I said their engine blocks are still intact.
Oh, they're not operational, but the engine blocks are intact?
Yes, nothing has happened to them.
G1 and G2 are diesel, not HFO, is that not correct?
Yes, they are diesel, yes.
It is also correct that they do not run 24 hours a day.
They used to run 24 hours a day. Before we have HFO sets, they were running 24 hours a day.
Okay. Currently, they do not run 24 hours.
No, I said when they were installed, we did not have HFO sets. They were running 24 hours a day.
Mr. Conte, Is it not correct that machines which are not used often will last longer? Like any machine which is not used often, it is not operational 24 hours a day, will last longer.
Yeah, but as he said, their availability is much lower than that of G6. Go and find, the records are there.
Mr. Conte, you don't have to refer everything back to the BASDI set. I am asking you questions. Answer my questions and then you can add explanations.
No, but you are asking for in the case of the generator 1 and 2.
Do not preempt me. My question to you is, a generating set that is not used often will last longer? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you aware that G2 has been decommissioned?
We have decommissioned those sets because when we started getting HF4 sets, diesel sets are operational costs are very high. That's why we went into HF4 sets. So when we had sufficient HF4 sets, we only use them when it is necessary, like during peak load period. But otherwise, we don't use them. So eventually, they were decommissioned. But what I'm saying, they were running for many years before, and nothing has happened to them up to the time we started getting good HF4 sets. That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Conte, let's move on. You contracts with NAWEC, do you not?
Do I have?
You have contracts with NAWEC. You work with NAWEC.
Yes, yes.
Okay. GTG contracts with NAWEC.
Yes.
Your explanation before the commission is that the GTG contracts are bogus, yet your contracts are not bogus.
What do you mean?
Your exact words.
Because my contracts always go through competitive bidding.
Sorry?
Our contracts, we always get it through competitive bidding, transparent competitive bidding. And we will win BASI. And then instructions will come that they give it to him.
Your current contract, you're the agent for Carpool, are you not?
My HFO?
You're the agent for Carpool. You mentioned Carpool in your testimony. Carpool, the current providers of IPP in the Gambia.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Was that tendered?
Mr. Chairman.
It was two people bid for it.
Hold it.
Two people bid for it.
Hold it, please. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Yes, Councillor.
The current contract is beyond our mandate. In my humble submission, it's not a subject matter for investigation by this commission. The question is, my submission is relevant as far as the issue before this commission is concerned.
With respect to the Commissioner, this witness, when he testified on the 2nd of May, made mention of Carpool. And then we have the recently now signed a rental power agreement with Carpool, and they're bringing 30 megawatts, so now being commissioned as we speak. And he was asked what was the kilowatt charge, and he said 14 cents. So the evidence is already before the commission. I am not bringing anything new in.
Very well. Carry on with your question.
My question to you, was that tendered?
Can you repeat?
Was the Carpool contract tendered?
Two people offered. NAWEC requested for an emergency solution to the power supply situation. All right? So two companies bid for it. Two companies. And they were evaluated. You can look at the evaluation report. It was very transparent. Ours, CalPower's offer was the best. You can go through it. It was the best. It was an all-inclusive contract. The others are saying they will not give fuel. NAWEC should provide fuel. It brings a lot of confusion. The cost per kilowatt hour, CalPower's was lower than them. So there's a lot of things that they looked at. Secondly, their track record, CalPower's track record in the sub-region is second to none. They are in many countries in Africa, and it's a success story wherever they go. The other competitors, wherever they go, they have problems. The evidences are there. So should we go for those type of people?
My question, was it tendered? You've answered
But
it was not
you,
tendered. Now, not being tendered does not make it a bad contract.
Sorry, what is the answer? Was it tendered as evidence? You mean here?
No, was it tendered?
No,
to the
I
general
said
public?
it was, NAWEC requested for an emergency solution to the power supply situation. So it was tendered. People were free to give offers. It does not mean that we were single-handedly chosen and stop other people from giving offers. No.
Mr. Conte, HFO contract, SC82, which you tendered, how did you come by that contract?
Which HFO contract?
Between NAWEC and GTG.
How did I come?
The contract. How did you obtain a copy of the contract?
I got it from the boys.
Sorry?
I got it from the concerned boys in NAWEC. Okay. Yes, because they are not happy with the contract and they gave it to me. And you know that the contract is a bad contract. You know that. It's a very bad contract.
Sorry?
The HFO contract is a very bad contract. You know that.
Mr. Conte, I'm asking the questions. I'll refrain from asking me questions. I'm not testifying here.
You are not here.
I'm sorry?
Yes, you are not.
Mr. Conte, how did you establish that all the contracts in which GTG participated in were bogus or irregular, according to you?
Yeah. The reasons I give you. If GTG is feel that they are competent, okay, they are professional, they should not fear competition. Why should you fear competition if you feel you are good? They go to competition with people, people will win, and they will use their connection with the executive and turn it over to them. That is not correct. That is why I said all the contracts that Basi entered into, they are all bogus. And I have reasons for it. Either their prices are exorbitant, or there are areas where he would hide, use the ignorance of NAWEC, like the contract for social security. You sign a contract for a generator, it should be a functional generator. You took the auxiliaries, took other essential instruction you should sign. That is wrong, and that is not correct.
Mr. Conte, you were present?
No, I'm telling you why I'm saying all his contracts are bogus.
You were present during those contract negotiations?
Which one? Because I saw it, that the contract for social security was not including the auxiliaries and other vital items to make the generators functional. I will not, if Basi is honest, he will not come here, sign a contract for a non-functional generator and ask people to pay that. That is wrong.
Mr. Conte, were you present when these contracts were negotiated?
No, I was not present.
Okay. Were you part of NAWEC when these contracts were negotiated?
I am not, but I'm a Gambian and I'm a concerned Gambian.
Mr. Conte, we will go
But
far
what I am
if
telling
you
you,
answer my questions.
Yes, what I'm telling you has happened or not. What I'm telling you happened. I saw the contract.
Were you part of NAWEC when these contracts were negotiated?
I was not, but I was seeing them. I saw them. When I saw it, I said, wow, why should this happen? This is not a functional generator set. Why?
Do you know, while you were at NAWEC, you had lawyers?
Do I know?
While you were MD at NAWEC, NAWEC had lawyers?
Had knowledge?
Lawyers, legal representation.
Why NAWEC has what?
Did they have lawyers? Did you have external lawyer or internal lawyer?
Of course, we have.
Did you use your lawyers?
Why not? In all our contracts, we use them.
Did you have access to the Ministry of Justice as well?
While I was MD?
Yes.
No.
You did not use their legal advice at any time?
Well, you see what happened to the generator's contract. So I did not have time to look at them, let alone to take it to the Ministry of Justice for advice. I said 3 days and then I was fired.
I am not asking you about that. It's a general question.
No.
Did you have access to the Ministry of Justice legal?
Yeah, for transparent contracts, of course.
Okay. Mr. Conte, you have stated in evidence that you bidded for some contracts, for some projects. Some you won, some you lost. Is that correct? How does your pricing work? What do you take into account when you're putting in a bid?
What do you mean?
What factors do you consider when you're putting in a pricing bid?
The cost of the cost of the material, transportation, and my markup.
Sorry?
Transportation, the cost of the materials, their transportation, and my labor cost plus profit. That's what I put into consideration.
Cost of materials,
Cost of materials,
transportation,
transportation,
yes, and
labor cost, and markup.
and markup.
Yes.
Does your markup include interest from a bank if you're taking a loan?
Yeah, I consider that, yes.
You consider that?
Yes.
So you will agree that in a bid, two people bidding for the same project will have completely different pricing?
But that is immaterial because the tender documents are very clear. You follow the procedure and you tender. If my price is low and I am
My question is, you will agree two people bidding for a same project can have different pricing?
Of course.
You bidded for the power transformers upgrade and installation of switchgear, did you not?
Which one? Which one? I cannot remember now. This is where the power transformer is to be installed where?
For the switchgear?
Where? Where was it to be installed? But there was many tenders regarding power transformers. This was where? Is it the OPEC peak contract or is it a different one?
It's a what?
Is it the OPEC?
No, not the OPEC.
So what was it?
This was in 2001.
2001?
Sorry, not 2001. This was the reference GSP work C201. Do you recall that?
I cannot recall, yeah. I cannot recall.
You cannot recall?
No.
Okay.
I might tender for it, but I cannot recall. I'm not saying I did not.
In that bid, which you cannot recall, you bid, your offer price was $510,700. And the other bidders, including Mohan Energy, was $417,687. What would account for a difference of nearly 100,000 for a same project?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. Like you said, two people can bid for the same contract and they have different prices. So that's what happened there. We have different price. We cannot all get the same price.
Do you recall the Energy Development and Access Expansion Project 10?
Energy Development?
And Access Expansion Project 10.
Which year?
That would be in 2012.
Funded by? Who was the funding agency?
I don't know who the funding agent was.
But you checked.
You don't recall that?
I recall the statement that you have said, but I don't know whether it was Venezuela or World Bank. I don't know. I cannot remember now.
Okay. Again, in that Energy Development and Access Expansion Project 10, your bid was 762,432.33 for Part A. As opposed to Mohan Energy Corporation, which was 630,339.00 for Part A.
Yes.
Again, there's a difference of quite substantial amount.
Yes. It depends on how they are getting their materials.
It depends on how they're getting the materials.
Exactly.
Mr. Conte, you are from an employee at NAWEC to a successful businessman whose business has been built from NAWEC or related contracts in NAWEC. Is that correct?
Not only NAWEC.
Not only NAWEC?
No.
But a lot of your success has come from your contracts with NAWEC?
No. My best contracts don't come from NAWEC. They come from Mustafa Njai TAF.
Sorry?
They came from Mustafa Njai TAF. My best contracts.
Came from?
TAF.
TAF?
Yes.
Okay. Did you bid for the Brikama 2 Phase 2 project for the generators?
I bid with some other people, with I think Mohan. Huh?
You bid with?
Mohan.
Mohan.
Yes.
Do you recall what your bid was?
No, I cannot remember.
That was an international tender, was it not?
It is.
That was awarded to GTG and a Korean company.
What?
How did you know?
Are you talking about the first one, the first contract?
No, I'm talking about the second contract.
Why you don't talk about the first one?
Mr. Conte, please.
I'm sorry.
My question to you, did you bid for the Brikama Phase 2 contract?
I did not bid for it.
You did not bid for the second contract?
It's Mohan that bid for it.
It was Mohan?
Yes.
Did you bid for the Brikama Phase 1 contract? I mean Phase 2, the first contract.
That's what I'm saying. I did not bid for it. It's Mohan who bid for it.
It was Mohan who bid for it?
Yes.
How did you know that GTD was to be awarded the contract? That's what you said.
How?
Did you know GTG was to be awarded the contract?
You know that contract, the first time it was tendered, Bazi did not win. Watsila won, and there was an executive directive that it should be given to Bazi. That nullified the contract. The funds we could not get. This for almost 4 years. We should have implemented this project. Because of Bazi, it could not be implemented. Because you did not win. The evaluation committee did not take you. And you went behind the president to give it to you. And the bank says no. Now it is retendered again. He was not the lowest. Look at the records. Why was it given to him? Because the people, they were afraid. They were afraid.
Conte, how did you know this was to be awarded to GTG? Who told you that?
I know because Basi always goes and get executive directive.
It's your assumption.
If it happens in the past, it will happen in the future.
Mr. Conte, this is a commission of facts. I believe you should only be saying things that you're truthfully aware of.
This is a fact. This is a fact. The first tender, he did not win. And he made this country to lose these sets for 5 years.
Can you look at SC 101B?
Yes.
That's in relation to the first tender. Who were the companies that put in a bid?
Who?
Which companies put in a bid?
I wouldn't know.
It's in the first page.
First page.
There's a list.
First page where?
Sorry, bring me the document. If you look at page...
I've not seen them mention the...
If you look at page 3 of the bottom, it says page 3 of 24.
Yeah, page 3 of 23, yeah?
Dispatch of bidding documents.
Huh?
Dispatch of bidding documents.
The executive summary.
No. Page 3. The executive summary is on page 3 of 23. Sorry, page 5 of 23.
Page 5 of 23, okay. Wärtsilä, Caterpillar, Pitstick.
Which companies are listed there?
8.
Sorry?
8
companies.
Yes.
Wärtsilä, Caterpillar, Pitstick,
yes.
MAN Diesel and Turbo, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Limited, Bumaster, Deutz Power System, and Hyundai Heavy Industries Company Limited.
Okay.
Now, take a look at page 21 of 23.
Page what?
21 of 23, clause 7.3, recommendations.
Page 21.
21.
Yeah.
Clause 7.3, recommendations. It reads, based on a systemic evaluation of the bids carried out in accordance with the bidding documents of the Islamic Development Bank, it is concluded that Wärtsilä have offered a more substantially and technically responsive bid. Page 21. Consequently, it is therefore strongly recommended that Wärtsilä be invited for contract negotiations. And then in the very last line, should both negotiations with Wärtsilä fail, HHI, which is Hyundai Heavy Industries, should be invited for contract negotiations, provided that they're willing to make an alternative offer of an engine type that conforms to the requirement of the bidding document as prescribed in ITB 24.5 of the bidding data, within the price and terms of the received bid. This is the project that was awarded to Wärtsilä, which you testified there was a directive that it should be given to Mr. Basi.
Yes. This
Is it not correct that after Watsila had carried out phase 1, NAWEC had problems with the Watsila engine and had written a report to the Office of the President highlighting this? Sorry?
He said what?
Is it not correct that the phase 1 project, which Watsila had completed, their engines had a problem, and NAWEC had written a report to the Office of the President highlighting this?
I hope you know who are Watsila. Apart from MAN.
Mr.
No, I'm just...
Yes, it's either you know or you don't know.
Okay. Let's talk about this particular contract.
Mr. Conte, let's not talk about, unless the questions I put to you. My question is,
yes.
Are you aware?
I'm not aware of that.
Thank you. Yes. Now, the directive that you mentioned, which NAWEC has put before the Commission, was that the contract should be given to the second most responsive bidder. Are you aware of that?
Okay.
Question?
Who is the second most responsive bidder? If it is not Bazi, how was it finally given to?
The second most responsive bidder, as you've just read from clause 7.3, was Hyundai Heavy Industries, yes. HHI.
Yes.
So the contract, the directive was that it should be given to HHI. Are you aware of that?
Let me explain that position.
Are you aware of that?
I know that it was given to Bazi. Eventually, it was given to him.
Mr. Conte,
because
what you believe is different from the facts. The facts are all contained in the documents.
These are facts. What happened when the evaluation was done, it was sent to the bank and the bank approves it. The bank has been working with Watsila for many times. So they approve it. Bazi came after that approval. He went to the president and then this executive directive was given.
Mr. Conte, HHI Industries is Hyundai Heavy Industries. At nowhere does it say GTG or Mr. Bazi.
But then why?
Now,
so Bazi was working behind.
If you look at SC 101B, which is a series of letters between NAWEC and the Office of the President, and I refer